Last month, this guest on the show Free Hour was given free rein to rail against Israel.
We were watching a couple of weeks ago the broadcast Free Hour, and one of the guests said that Israel's policies toward the Palestinians amounts to, in his words, a Holocaust conducted by a racist state. Were you aware of that?
No, but, you know, I think it's a little unfair to pick a sentence out of an hour program. If the full context balanced that, it's a different situation.
We checked, and the statement was neither challenged by the host or balanced by another guest.
It's not necessarily just pulling a sentence out of a program. I mean, there's a pattern here, critics of this channel say. You have Nasrallah given an hour of airtime. You have the Holocaust Deniers Conference. Now you have this person saying that Israel is a racist state. Is this the kind of thing that the American taxpayer should be paying for?
No, this is absolutely not a pattern. Now you're picking something that occurred, I don't know, 2 years ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, but that was, you know, a year and a half later. And I'm not even going to comment on that. I'll be happy to look into it and see what the full context is. But
this week, Conniff told us that any implication that Al-Hurra is anti-Israeli is absolutely wrong.
So in here you can see all three channels at one time.
So far, U.S. taxpayers have spent nearly $500 million on Al-Hurra. After 4 years, we wanted to know if anyone is watching.
I think by and large it's irrelevant.
Shibli Telhami is a top researcher of Arab public opinion. He's a professor at the University of Maryland, and over the last 6 years, he's conducted polls across the Middle East asking Arabs what they watch. He told us that the channel the Bush administration loves to hate, Al Jazeera, based in Qatar, is the runaway #1 with 53% of the audience.
Where does Al-Hurra rank among all of the Arab television channels?
Al-Hurra ranks toward the very bottom of that list. I think in there it ranks, it's about 2%.
So after $500 million spent on Al-Hurra, the effect in the region has been what?
In terms of public opinion, less than zero.
Telhami says many in the Arab world say they dislike the United States because of its policies. It is not, he says, a misunderstanding or a distorted image portrayed by other channels.
It's what we do in Iraq. It's what we do on the Arab-Israeli issue. It's how we define our war on terrorism. Most people interpret it as a war on Islam. Every single year, anger with America has increased. Think about how could you get to that point if you're succeeding?
It's important to note Telhami's polling does not include Iraq, which Al-Hurra considers its biggest audience. Jim Glassman, who until last week was chairman of the government's Broadcasting Board of Governors, told us that every week 26 million viewers watch some part of Al-Hurra's programming.
We're not irrelevant. We're doing things that other broadcasters are not doing. We're doing thorough coverage, for example, of the elections in Morocco. We're talking about what's really going on in Egypt. We're talking about what's happening with women in the Middle East.
Compared to Al Jazeera, Al-Hurra does feature more American and Israeli voices, and it provides extensive coverage of U.S. politics and culture. Its cultural programs, like this hour on Blue Jeans, are among its most popular. But after nearly $500 million, the free one is seen by most Arabs as the U.S. government station, the Cheney Channel, as some have called it. And that perception is limited in a skeptical region where people tend to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Al-Hurra.
Did you wonder whether the United States government should be in the business of Arab news gathering?
I don't think any government should be involved in news gathering because you can't make independent decisions if you have a government over you telling you what you can and can't do.
If it's credible, you run afoul of the government. If you follow the line of the government, nobody watches it in the Middle East.
It's a no-win situation, as I painfully found out.
Remember that reporter at the Holocaust Deniers Conference? He was supposed to be fired after that report, and the Broadcasting Board of Governors told Congress that he was fired. But we've learned that he remained on the government payroll for 18 months and was only fired after we inquired about him.
To learn more about this story, Go to cbsnews.com and propublica.org.